Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Allison Wells, and today I'm kicking off our new year. Happy New Year to all of you. And what I like to do in the new year to set off the tone of the new year, I like to do a gratitude art journal page every day for the month of January. For those who don't know, I love to art journal, specifically gratitude art journaling. And I do that throughout the year. But in January, I like to discipline myself and focus with doing every day for the month of January. It's a little challenge, and I ask people to join me and we have fun with it. This time, I've decided, because I have a huge bag, I was cleaning out the studio, and I know a lot of you have this, tons and tons of scraps, whether it's scrapbooking paper, magazine paper, painted paper, every kind of paper you can imagine in here. Now, for those of you who do some of my courses and follow me on my YouTube channel would know I love to separate my collage papers into palettes, like color palettes. So I have a tray of warm colors, reds and oranges. I have a tray of blues and trays of purples, a tray of greens, a tray of black and whites. And so I have them set out like that for my artwork, for my journals, for my paintings, etc. But I also still have like a ton of smaller pieces or more magazine paper, stuff that I might just want to throw away, but guess what? I never do. And I know that is you too. And so I feel good that I'll be using it up. So you're using up your excess and you're creating beautiful works of art in the meantime. But most of all, having fun. I'm really not thinking about the outcome. I'm thinking mostly about process. And let's challenge ourselves to every day in January, we're going to do a page. Lots of fun. So this video is going to be my first day for January. And I'm going to show you from beginning to end what I came up with. Let's begin. Okay, so I've set the mood with my candle. Let's begin. For my journal, I've decided, and I just decided this minutes before, that I was going to use my drawing pad, but black paper. Now, I've used black paper in the past, and I've used black as a base tone in my paintings and collages, etc., but never an entire journal. And this is the Strathmore drawing paper with black. It comes with 100 pages. The pages are actually nice and thick. So, they're not totally heavy, but they're thicker than your regular cheaper drawing paper. And so I'm enjoying it, and it holds up the collage. For the glue, now I ran out of my glue stick there, as you can see, so I'm using my matte medium. I love using matte medium for collages, especially if I'm collaging edge to edge and I'm filling the whole thing. It's easy because you apply it with a paintbrush, you apply it underneath, and you apply it on top. So it's used as an adhesive, but it's also used as a sealant. It seals the whole thing. But because of the black paper, as I started, I realized I don't want to cover up the whole black paper. The reason I'm using it is so I can see the black coming out in between, or maybe create borders with it. And so sometimes when you use the wet medium like that, it leaves streaks. So I'll see as we go along with other days how I'll get around that, and I might use the glue stick and get another one. But right now, use what you have. So I have my matte medium or my wet glue, and that's what I'll use. Now I'm going through my bag of scraps. I have all different sizes and some really small pieces, but a lot of magazine paper. I don't always use as many. I don't use magazine paper really in my paintings, but in my journals I do. I love to use them up. You can use your magazine paper in your paintings and other more quality work, but you will want to seal them with like matte medium on both sides, a couple coats to keep it in. All right, so I'm ready to begin, and I just chose like a handful. I'm trying not to overthink because you could really go crazy with what you're going to use. There's so many options. So I'm looking at a lot of black and whites, grays, and I've decided to put a bit of a pop of a red because both of these pieces I used here had a little bit of red. So I'm going to come up with a little red in there as well. But I'm not trying to throw everything at it. I know that collage can sometimes be very confusing when you have so much to use. And as the days go by, I'm going to show different ways in which I use them. And sometimes the easiest ones, easy for me, it's kind of like putting them in a color scheme. So using like monochromatics, all reds, all blues, all greens, etc. For this one, I started off black and white and then I realized I liked the little bit of red in those black and white ones. And so that's why I brought in that red. Here I'm trying to think, should I use this blue multicolored one from a magazine? Not sure. It could still work. But this is the point where you just kind of moving things around, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I'm not gluing anything down as yet, but I'm just kind of placing it. What do I want to put? And as you can see, I naturally, and I didn't plan this, I naturally started to leave a border around. And I love that. I knew I was going to have some of that black peeking through, but I didn't realize until I started to work with the pieces that I have there that it'll make a really nice border. So that was the first piece that I brought out, that black and white checkers. It's an old piece of paper that I used that had a stamp, like a checkerboard stamp. And then it got a little piece of red on it by mistake or something. But that pop of red is so great. But the thing about it, it's the corner piece. And because it's a corner, it gives a really lovely right angle. And so I put it right up at the top and it creates a border immediately. Immediately there's a black border. And so that sets the tone for me. And I'm like, ooh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure there's black space, negative space all the way around. And I just start filling in other things. What I want to say is that when I was piecing it together before I glued it, sometimes you come up with a good composition and you have to move everything to then glue it down. Take a picture. I mean, I didn't take a picture at this point. I'm recording with my camera, so I didn't take a picture. But I have another phone that you can take a picture, a snapshot, and then you can have it as a reference to where you piece things together. Usually in my journals, I try really not to take myself serious. I might piece it together in the beginning to see where everything's going to go. But I may not stay fast to it. So I really want to give myself room to play. It's okay if these compositions don't look good in the end. Just challenge yourself with composition, challenge yourself with color. And what I try to do is just repeat certain things. So I started off with the black and whites, and then there's a pop of red. I did that little piece of red in between. And do you see how that red in the middle looks like a heart? And if you know me, I love hearts. I just did a free course. There's a free online course that I have now called Gratitude Heart Journals. If you don't know about it, please go to my page and get the link. And it is free. But it is all about gratitude journals and all about hearts, using the motif of the heart. But I am going to tell you, I promise, I did not plan that red heart in the middle, that pink, red and white collage piece. It just so happens the shape on top created that indent where the heart comes in, and then another piece of paper created a sharp edge on the other side. And I love when those things happen. Happy mistakes. It really sets the tone for the piece. I love it. And so as we see those pops of red, I brought in another little piece of like orangey red. It was a painted piece of paper I had there. And I'm just going over with the matte medium over it to seal it all. And so that's what I'm talking about. The matte medium got on the black. And so I don't really like that because it gives a bit of a like streak and a kind of a grayish kind of feel. It dries clear. But when you look at it, it does have a little bit of a texture. I mean, I don't mind the texture, but if you wanted it clean, almost like it was matted, like the matte that you have on paintings, on a glass painting with a frame. So yeah, so that's what I did. Other little things I just added in, that piece of gold strip. It was from a tassel. I love the pop of gold in there because on the right-hand side has some strips of magazine paper, and I think they were gold. It's like gold rings from a magazine paper. So that strip of gold really matched that. So it's all about kind of picking a piece that sets the tone, which was the top left-hand piece, and then going with that, not veering too far away. I try not to do that. You can use all the colors under the sun, but I try to keep it within a color scheme. So my color scheme right here, black and whites. When I say black and whites, fairly around there. Pops of red, orangey reds, pinks, etc. Pops of that. There's a little hue of blue in there, but it's mainly black and whites and red and some golds. And so I'm leaving it like that. And then now I love my gratitude quotes. So most of them will have a quote, some may not. This one I'm going to start off with a quote. It's our first day of the month of January for our gratitude art journals. And I cut out some quotes that I printed, cut it into strips, seeing the best way I would like to place it, how I would like to place it. I'm keeping all those in mind because you want to put it in a place that you can see it. That's why the top one kind of overlaps into the black, takes you into the black and you can read it. It's black letters on white. The second word under there crosses over the black area. So it still stands out. And we can do other things to make it stand out if I so choose to. Now, that will be my page, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go back in it after when it's all dried. I might be on day 15 and I might flip back through and I might start doodling, just doodling and having fun with it. So that is my page and I am so pleased with it.